Good morning, guys. This is Cass Girl, and some of you guys been wanting one of us to upload a video on how to use Photoshop to colorize and edit some of your 2D artwork. I will be giving you a basic rundown how Photoshop is and giving you instructions how to go about doing this. This will depend on exactly what you're trying to do. Some people may use Photoshop to correct some of the traditional artwork. This may include pencil, oil, color pencils, paint. Some use it to edit their 3D stuff, kind of like some of the stuff you see on PWI's official website. Yes, a lot of that's Photoshop as well. It's not done strictly in 3D software. And some, like me, use it to colorize 2D artwork that's either pencilized first and then render it to make it look like it's inked, or inked by hand first and then scan it in like I do. So here we go. This little thing I'm kind of dragging around here, this is your toolbar. It contains all of the tools, well, at least I think you will be using in Photoshop. This window right here contains your history. It basically records what you've been doing in Photoshop. Actions, again, it records your actions, and you can make it repeat certain actions on different files and stuff, so that way you don't have to do it over and over again. But again, it depends on what you want to do. This little box right here is your layers. I will be getting to that later. There's all extra stuffies right over here on the right hand side. This right here is where all your extra menus and options are. I haven't really started anything, so most of them are grayed out. And obviously this is the X button, which I don't want to click quite yet. Alrighty, so I don't really have anything new scanned in. I'm going to be using one of my other drawings that I inked previously. It's going to be from my comics, so you're actually going to see some of my comic book stuff. Alrighty, before I start, there's several ways to go about scanning in your stuff. Whatever scanner or device you use, if it came with a CD to install onto your computer so that way you can scan your stuff, go ahead and do that with mine. This is what it basically is. Here's the interface of it. And most of them pretty much gives you an option to where you want to save all your scanned images. Please scan it in a place where you know where it is. Don't scan it in blah la 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 and you can't find it. Okay? I recommend a folder on the desktop and name it Drawings 1 or whatever you want to do. Just don't give yourself a headache like I did when I first used this. And the other way, which I'm not going to do because it tends to freeze Photoshop, is using the import option and using WIA support. What that does is it detects all your devices on the machine. You actually go through it, you select your scanner, and then using Photoshop's default interface of scanning in images. Well, we're not going to go through that. So, if you did it the first way, you basically go to File, and you have all these beautiful options. Alright? And you go to Open. This is all my stuffies. You see that? You see how much work I do, guys? Oh, there's something. And you go to your scan image. You select it. Don't worry about any of this mumbo jumbo. Don't worry about this. Just click on Open. And there you go. And there's your scan image. Now, if you scan the sideways or crooked, don't worry about it. You can actually straighten it out in Photoshop. When you scan in the image, the actual live drawing of it, I strongly recommend that you scan it perfectly straight. Reason being because if you tend to rotate it in Photoshop, it will slowly deteriorate the quality of it. I have had that experience for quite some time on several different drawings. then I just went on rage mode and deleted and redid it again. But I don't want you guys to do that, so. Alright. So yeah, that's not exactly the way I want it. If it comes out like this, you go to over here, right? You go to image. Okay. You go to image rotation, and then you select one of these beauties. Honestly, I get counterclockwise and the other one confused a lot, so I apologize if I make it, if I don't make it the first time. See what I mean? No, that's upside down. If you make a mistake, like this, on your keyboard, you press Control Z at the same time. Hang on a sec. And it still doesn't want to work. Or, if it doesn't want to work, just have your history box open and just click back to whatever you want to go back to. Alright, let's try that again. There we go. Alright, if you guys are familiar with Rayman, it's basically kind of like a Leo looking thing, like dreads, and the Rayman looking stuff. Was from Pause. It's a character I made up roughly, how many years ago? 7 years ago almost. But alright, so you have your image perfectly straightened out. All JPEG images will come out with the layer locked. First thing you definitely gonna want to do is unlock your background. Name it to, I don't know, bacon. And there you go. Now it's open. Now you can do whatever you want to do to it. Alright. With inked images to the artwork, even though it's retained to the manga style type of deal, we don't want any of this. It looks cool, but we don't want any of that. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Image, Adjustments, and Levels. Make sure you have kind of like a closer view of your drawing before you go to that. Alright, now Levels. It basically adjusts to light and dark proportions of your image. This is pretty much the blackness of it. This is the gray area, and these are the whites. Now, we want to make this completely black. So, we're going to move this little thingy a little bit to the right. And we're going to keep going, and we're going to keep going, and okay, we're going to stop. Now, all this stuff is black. If we see all this, it's not good. So, we're going to move this bad boy to the left until, bam, till we get that. And then we get that. Now, I don't want it exactly like that, so I'm going to adjust it a little bit more to my liking. If I can. It's been a while. And there we go. Click OK when you're satisfied with it. Bacon. I'm obsessed with bacon. Alrighty. Now I'm going to go through the steps that you will need to do to separate your line work from this white background, so that way you can colorize it. On your keyboard, hold, let's see now, Control A. Hold them down at the same time, and you should get these little dashy lines just going all around your drawing. Okay? Next, hold down Control X, and your image is going to go bye-bye, but don't freak out. Alright? Right after you do that, hold down Control, Shift, and N. You're going to make a new layer. Color lines. Alright? Now, we're not going to use white anymore. We are going to use black. The quickest way to get the black color going is by, if I remember correctly, is D. Just press D on your keyboard. And this little box right here will turn black. Okay. If you don't want to do it that way, you click on this box, on this one, on the first one, not the second one, on the first one right here. And you select black. It's the color picker. Whee! Black. Okay. Now, make sure now you have 2 layers. What are layers? Let's do something, I don't know, this, there. Layers are basically anything that you do on a particular layer stays on that layer. You can, unless you select that layer, you can't do anything else to it. Okay, let's do shapes. Okay, I am selecting the circle layer. I can do whatever I want, but I can't do anything to the box. Why? Because I don't have it selected. Now I have it selected, I can do whatever I want. Look at that. Look at that. So cute, man. Let me stop. Now if you want to actually move both of the images around, you start from the bottom, hold down shift, and select the next one. Alright, I didn't want to do all that. So I'm going to go back to history and, yeah. Alright. Go to lines. Hold down Alt and backspace, and it's going to make it go black. Okay? Now then, on your toolbars, you see this thing that looks kind of like a camera? Click on it. That's called masking. What's basically going to happen is that it's going to mask the line work onto this layer. Alright? So now, select, now hold down Control and V. See? It didn't went bye-bye. Now go back to the little camera shape thing, also called the mask tool, and click on it. See all these lines? They're separating the line work from the background. Now, we're going to erase all that. The hotkey for it is E. And you will get this circle thingy. It's basically like an on-the-spot eraser. By default, you can just go to your toolbars. And it looks just like an eraser. And just click on it. Alright. Any size will do. You can adjust the size right here. Make sure it's at 100% opacity. Opacity, if it's lowered, it won't erase the blackness completely. And it's going to look really retarded. So, please make sure it's 100%. Alright? Look at that. Now, when that's done, hold down Control D. And there you have it. You have your line work separated from the white background. And now you have this layer called Bacon sitting there looking pretty, doing nothing. Alright. The next step we'll be taking is colorizing the artwork. Alrighty, so I basically went through the step of how to separate the line work from the white image, and we get this pretty thingy. It's one of my characters from my comic. Alright. A lot of the times when you're scanning your images, they come out as a gray image, a grayscale image basically. In other words, no matter what color you pick, it will come out in black and white. We need to change it to RGB. How do you go about doing this? You go to Image, you go to Mode, see, grayscale. But we don't want grayscale. We want RGB color. So select that. Now it's going to ask you to merge. Changing modes can affect the appearance of layers. Merge layers before the mode change. Don't merge. And now we'll be able to colorize this. Alrighty. A lot of people tend to colorize it and merge all the coloring down as they go. Personally, I prefer to keep all my color layers separated. Like if I did all the colors for the hair, I basically make a layer called hair, and I merge it all the other colors that are with hair, the layer called hair, and I merge it down with that. And then let's say I was doing the skin tone color, I probably make a layer called skin tone color, and I colorize the skin but keep it separated from the hair's layer. However you want to do it is completely up to you. Everybody has their own preference and their own ways of going about this. Alrighty. There are several ways you can colorize your stuffies. One is by the brush tool. The hotkey for it is B, or you can just go to your toolbar and select the little thing. It looks like a brushy. Alright? And you get this. Now, of course, by default it's going to be black. Oh, we don't want that. Oh, now it wants to work. Again, if you make a mistake or if there's something you want to change, it's Control Z. That's the hotkey. Or, again, oh, I don't want to do that. Again, you can just go through your history and just do that. But, anyway, I don't want to sit there. I don't want to just sit there and color it black. It's already black, and it's the inking. Let's pick a color. You go about this by, again, the little box right here, and you click on it, and you pick a color. You can pick any color, any color. You know, you can see your no, let me stop. Originally I had them in a semi-brown skin tone color, so I'm gonna pick that, and you click OK. Now, do not color on your lines layer. Do not make a layer on top of your lines layer. Sorry if it sounds like this, but I visit school campus quite a bit, and I see people make that damn mistake that I did back when I started college. Don't do it. Make sure your lines layer is the first layer. Okay? I made an extra layer. I'm gonna call this the skin layer. Okay? You zoom in. By the way, if you want to zoom in or out from the image, the hotkeys are Control and the plus sign to zoom in, and then Control minus sign to zoom out. When you're close up in the image, hold down space so that way you can scrub through the image, so that way you don't stay in the same spot and go, oh my goodness, where am I? Moment. Now, being on the skin layer, again, always make sure you hold, you press B. Make sure you're using that tool. And well, this brush is kind of small. This is basically all the options you have when you are using that particular tool. You see that arrow? You clicky on it. Okay, you click on it. Clicky, clicky. It's 6 points. The higher you go, the bigger it's gonna get. Okay, we don't want it that big. I would say about, I'd say maybe around 20 or something. Yeah, 20. Okay. And then when you're done, just clicking on this arrow again, there you go. And for some reason, it's in grayscale. I'm gonna go back and change it again. There we go. Now, you start colorizing it. This is just one way of doing it though. Okay. And we're just gonna color. Okay. See how cool that is? Alright, there's another way that one of my instructors showed me, but I never really used it that much. So I'm not really gonna show it that way. Again, it's just a basic quick run through on how to use Adobe Photoshop to add it to these stuff. If you want to get to the nitty gritty, I recommend going through YouTube and looking up some other Photoshop tutorials. They have some pretty good tutorials that would definitely go much more in depth than me in regards to Photoshop and to the artwork or whatever you're trying to do. So the way that I do it is by using the pen tool. The hotkey for is P on your keyboard. And you see all these stuffies, like, holy shit. But, yeah. There are two types of pen tools. This is freeform, the little squiggly line that comes out from the ink pen. That's freeform. What is freeform? This is basically freeform, and I'm gonna break the rule a little bit, but just to make you see what it is. See, that's freeform. We don't want to do that. gonna depend of how the ink work is. The other one, it lets you do it by points, by anchor points. What are anchor points? I am going to show you. And by the way, when you use both of these pens, they're automatically going to have their own layer. What do I mean by that? What is Casty talking about? Well, I'll just show you. See? Shape 1. Now, there's something else I need to mention. This is not in regards to 2D art. If you're doing everything, including the line work, digitally, there's two things you have to know. Vectorized art and rasterized artwork. What is vectorized? This thingy right here, this is vectorized. In other words, I can sit here, and I will get to what that tool is in a bit. Sit here and size it up and down, and the quality will not deteriorate. What is rasterized? If I sit here and blow this thing up like a freaking balloon, it's gonna look bad. See? I'm gonna close that up. You see that? It blurs like crazy when you blow it up. And on certain rasterized images, if you size it down too much, it does the same thing. Now, ready? If you're still kind of confused about what I just mentioned, Google it. Trust me, I really don't want to see people digitalize their stuff completely and then having that freaking balloon mess that I just did. So it's just to let you know. Okay, but when it comes to ink work, it really doesn't matter unless you go to size it up. And again, depending on what you want to do. If you want to do a gigantic poster of your drawing, when you go to scan it in, it's going to give you an option to change the resolution size. All the drawings you're going to do for, let's say, your website or just for DeviantArt or whatever that's related to the interwebs, most of it is going to go between 70 dpi and 75 dpi. If the image is going to be, I don't know, let's say on a billboard or maybe on a freaking flag ding from the plane, definitely the resolution size should be at least 300. I do all mine 300 because I sometimes do some images as wallpaper, and I tend to do these a lot bigger than 75 dpi. But for this, most of the time you don't even have to change that, but if you do, just keep that in mind. Scan all of your images at 75 dpi. Let me see if I can find my sketches. I don't think I have any at the moment. Let's see. Oh, that's sad. But if you drew something completely in pencil, if you sketched out an image, all of those will always be scanned at 300 dpi. Why? So that way it retains the original quality of it. But that's for another tutorial if you want me to do one. Again, I'm not really the best of the best teacher in the world. There's probably people that have done it better than me. But anyway, back to this. Alright. When I go through this, I tend to keep all the skin layers merged. And depending on how you merge them, you may have to keep renaming them like I do. Alright. Alright, let's go to bacon layer for shits and giggles. Let's color his bracelet. Again, you gotta go to the first box thingy that's on your toolbar. And I guess green will do. Brown grayscale. Right about there. Excuse me. And go back to your pen tool or however you want to colorize it. Again, it's up to you. I prefer to use the pen tool. And while being in the bacon layer, you gotta go, oh my god. And there you go. And now that's colorized. Yeah, so You just keep on colorizing it, colorizing it, colorizing it, colorizing it until you're completely done with the image. And let me see if I have it. I don't have it, do I? Nope. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pick out something else. There. Oh, this is nice. Alright, so you keep colorizing it, you keep colorizing it, and either you're gonna have a bunch of layers for all your colorizations like I do, or you're gonna have it merge down, what have you. If you have them separate, if you're happy with the way it looks, right, again, you start from the very bottom, and you go from the TV top, except for the lines layer, keep those separated. You hold down shift, you click on that, now you right click, you see all these options, well, forget them. You go down, and you go to merge layers. And now all your colorizing, all your tweaking is merged down into one single editable layer. Let's call that color. Yeah? Alright. Alrighty, so we're looking at it. All the extra stuffies that I do to my image, again, if you would like to know or learn the basis of how to do that, I can do another tutorial. Just ask me when I'm in game or by mail, email, however you want to do it. But yeah, the reason why I say to keep those lines and colorizations separate is because you get stuff like that. Do you see that? Yeah, that's bad. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and merge it down anyways and pretend I didn't see that. Oh wow, look at that. And then I go to try to erase that. I'm gonna go ahead and just use my I keys. Look at that. Oh, I'm trying to erase it, and yeah, that's not good. Even though it still looks okay, that's not good. We don't want to do that. Okay? And you see some of the stuff right here? The uncolorized portions? We will want to fill that in. Okay? Alright, let's go back. Balk. Okay. Alright, on the color layer, instead of merging it down like I did, don't copy every single thing I do. That's bad. And we're gonna tweak it down. And then we're just gonna kind of scrub around. Or, you know, you don't have to be that close. I'm gonna go, let's see, there's something. Alright, here's another trick to, alright, so we know that the color has to be yellow, but we don't want to go back to the box thingy and select it again. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna hold down Alt on your keyboard, click, and why didn't it, oh, that's why I wasn't on my brush session. Make sure you're on your brush tool. Like I said, don't copy everything I do. Hold down Alt, and it's gonna give you the little drop tool. It's gonna look like a little droplet. So that is a spot that's clean, maybe right here, that doesn't have the little straight lines, and click. See, it's gonna give you this cool little circle thing, and you know, you scroll through it and select whatever color you want. And there you go. And just fill that in. And yeah, I don't know why Photoshop does that to me. It's a bitch. Kind of go through it. I don't know why it keeps going back to the eraser tool. Again, always press B and make sure you're at the brush tool. We're going to do it again, but for red. And this is a little big, so we're going to change the size again. And you don't have to do it like that. You know the brackets buttons on your keyboard? The one that's on the right hand side? Yeah, you keep pressing it and the brushie goes big. The left hand side makes it go teeny tiny. Alright. And we're gonna colorize it again. Right there. I already pretty much did a finalized version of this. It's already been corrected. I'm just going through this so that way you know, so that way you don't panic when it doesn't come out 100% right when you decide to go ahead and use it in Photoshop. If you don't want to use the Photoshop and you want to use another piece of software for it, it's perfectly fine. I'm pretty sure it has the basic rundown as in Photoshop. Alright. Alrighty. And there we are. I'm pretty sure it's not 100% correct to correct it, but just for demonstrative purposes, I'm going to go ahead and merge it down. When you're happy with the image, when you are absolutely sure that everything's been tweaked to your liking, take your lines layer, take your color layer, right click and merge. And now you got this nice drawing, whatever it is you're going to do, all merged down. I don't know what that thing is, straight lines. And yeah, that's basically it. Background, you know, you can always make a new layer, select the color, you know, save prints, same things apply when you do that. Tats, let me do a quick rundown on tats. The hotkey for that is T, and you gotta give Photoshop a minute to recognize it, unless it's not doing it for me. And it's not doing it for me. Oh, there we go. Alright, tats is tats. You have your font type, and I have a, well, I used to have a bunch of different types before my hard drive decided to crap out on me. You have your font types, you have your font size, I think let's go with 30. And then you have how you want your text to look like. Let's see here. Well, I'm gonna use Monka Temple. So you select the font text you want to use, and anywhere really. You click and drag. In other words, you hold down your mouse button, and it can be any size. You can always change it later. And there you go. And then you have a little cursor. Click on that, and you type whatever you want to type. This character's name is Bruton, so I'm gonna type out Bruton. And yes, all my work is already gone through the copyright process. So guys, please, you know what I'm trying to say here. If you don't like the size, let's say you left it wrong. Make sure you're in the text tool, typing tool, whatever you want to call it. Go near the text, and the cursor is gonna have like a little dash box around it. When you're not near any text, when you're near text, that's gonna go away. You click on it, and there you go. You get to edit it again. Most of you guys should know. So you select the text and you change the size of it. When you're happy, you can either, oh no, wait, you can't press enter. You have to click on the chat box. Alright. How do you get outlines on the thing? Double click fast, not slow, because the only thing you're gonna do is change the name of it. Let me go through that again. Double click on it, and you're gonna go to a box that's called layer style. You can basically edit the style of the text. And no, I can't even. Well, I'm just gonna show time. How do you do it? You go to outer glow. What does outer glow do? It gives it a glow. I usually keep it at normal. This is the opacity. You can make it go lighter or faded or what have you. Noise should speak for itself. Keep it at 0. You don't want to mess with that. Color, black. Okay. Spread, it does that basically. And size of the spread, well, that should be self-explanatory. Okay. I'm just going to keep them like that, just to show you. I definitely don't do my work like that. But yeah. Then, well, there you have it. This is, like I said, a quick run through of how to scanning your inked or pencilized artwork into Photoshop. When you scan and pencil images, the same rules apply. You're going to go to image and levels and adjust it until it looks basically like Bruton with all those ink drawings. And you go through the steps to separate the line work from the background image. And then using different layers, and again, not on your line layer and not on top of your line layer. You slowly, well, not too slowly, start to colorize your image until you are satisfied with it. And then you go through the process of merging down each colorized portion of your image, and then you merge it all down together, and then you do the final tweaks and adjustments that you want to do. I hope it helps some of you guys. Again, if you want me to do more, or you just want to see more of my pretty drawings, just let me know. And again, if this wasn't helpful, I recommend going on YouTube and searching Photoshop tutorials. So, I'll see you guys later.